he is, in fact, a legitimate NFL starting quarterback?
Absolutely not. There's nothing Taysom Hill can do to prove to Nick. There's just nothing he can do. So let's just jump to the conversation around, can he just prove to himself and his team that he can hold it down until Drew Brees get back? And I think he can. But we got to slow it down a little bit. You know, there's a lot of quarterbacks that start hot and then fizzle out. You go back to Kyle Allen last year with the Carolina Panthers. We were like, man, great move. They need to move on from Cam Newton. And then look how things ended. So we need to slow down just a little bit and let this guy go into the game, work his game plan, and get the win for his team, which I think is going to be hard. Nick, you were right earlier. I think this could be the upset alert of the week. But he needs to just stay poised and take it one play at a time and don't mess it up. Just hold it down until Drew Brees get back.
Okay, so listen. If the question was, can Taysom Hill ever prove to Nick that he's a legit starting quarterback? Sure. I won't put ceilings on anybody. At some point, he could prove it to me. Could he do it Sunday? Of course not. Here's a list of names for you. Ben DiNucci, P.J. Walker, and Brandon Allen. By the way, Brandon Allen is starting for an NFL team this week. I'll give you $5 if you know who it is. The answer is the Bengals for folks at home, and I said it before you did, so I'm not sending you the money. Why did I name those people? Ben DiNucci, P.J. Walker, Brandon Allen. Because all those guys have thrown more passes this season than Taysom has in his career. And all those guys, thankfully, also played full-time quarterback in college. Taysom kind of did miss a couple years with injury. So can any of those guys this week, can Brandon Allen with a really good game for Cincinnati prove to the world that against the Giants that he's a starting quarterback? No, he can't. Can P.J. Walker prove it? No. Ben DiNucci, he got a chance to prove it. Now they're like, okay, we'll try Garrett Gilbert. Andy Dalton, please come back. We don't want to have to go through DiNucci again. That is the sample size we have from Taysom. And this idea that he played really well on this past Sunday is belied by the facts in the video. You're up against the second worst pass defense in the league. You have Sean Payton game planning a baby-proofed offense. And your biggest pass of the game was an awful throw. This is 15 yards underthrown that Emmanuel Sanders had to come back and get. So, no, even if he plays well Sunday, it won't prove he's a starting quarterback. Now, I don't think he's going to play well Sunday, Wilds, and I think I'm going to end up looking very smart on this when the Taysom Hill experiment's over. But, no, one game or a second game could not prove it.
I'm gonna throw you a question, Nick. I was sold, and Sean Payton sold me on it, that variety is the spice of life. That we take out one of the best quarterbacks of all time and we put in Taysom Hill to switch it up, because then you don't have to game plan for one quarterback. You got a game plan for two quarterbacks. And then I'm like, okay, if Taysom Hill is really the starter, maybe we'll get dashes of Jameis. Nope, nothing. Zippo. I was like, oh, was I misfed? I bought this hook, line, and sinker. So for me, and you tell me what you would do, I would throw Jameis in there a little bit. I think the longer you got Taysom out there, the more you kind of figure the guy out. But if you throw Jameis in there, and since that's the philosophy that I've been sold for the last 3 years, I think it's a big win. Would you do that, or do you think it's just too much change?
I would 1,000% do it, and I think they might be forced to do it if the Broncos' pass rush is as effective as I think it will be. But, Brandon, I want to ask you this. To me, there is an element of the Taysom Hill stuff in regards to Sean Payton that is stubbornness. It is the same element that I think led Sean Payton to leaving Mike Thomas in the Week 1 game in at the very end, trying to stick it to the Bucs. The stubbornness that you talked about a lot this offseason that you got criticized for when you said, hey, they don't adjust come the playoffs, and that hurts them. I think Sean Payton knows what the narrative surrounding Taysom Hill is and wants to prove to the world, I'm smarter than you, and I can make it work even with this guy. So I think that's part of what's happening here as far as why Jameis is not, like, Sean Payton's not going to get a bunch of credit if Jameis comes in and plays well. He will get massive credit for Taysom Hill. I think that's part of this, Brandon.
100%. I think we all were shocked for the most part when Taysom got the call over Jameis, right? Like, everybody's like, what? How is he doing this? And the first thing I thought about was, this is Coach Payton trying to show everybody, like, I know what I'm talking about, and watch me prove everyone wrong. Look, this isn't a new thing. Everyone around the NFL, everyone in the NFL circles know that Coach Payton is kind of cocky. Look how he handled the situation years ago when the Saints were fighting against Roger Goodell in the NFL. He's that type of guy. He's the only coach on Twitter right now that will get into it with a fan. I happen to like it. I think we need more of it. But, Nick, you are right. Like, you are right. That is Coach's personality. So this could be a play where Coach Payton is saying, you know what, I'm going to prove everyone wrong. But I do believe Taysom in this situation probably gives them the best opportunity to win. We're not in those practice. We're not on those practice fields. We're not in those meetings. We don't know how Jameis is developing and how he looks. So this is him trying to get his team in the best position to win the game.
All right, again, Saints and Broncos, Sunday on Fox. Back to yesterday's big game between Dallas and Washington. Did Mike McCarthy cost the Cowboys the game with his decision-making? We'll discuss next. First things first. We're patting my resume.
She plays an amazing dead body, Wilds. Nobody plays a dead body like Jenna Wolf.
I was a reporter, 4 lines. Time for drawing a blank. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers set to host the Bears on Sunday. They can move 3 games clear of Chicago in the NFC North with a win. But, Brandon, the player you are most excited to watch, Week 12, is blank.
Oh, Tom Brady. I mean, when you're the GOAT, hey, it comes with a lot of good, it comes with a lot of bad. You got to stand in the paint, you got to handle the pressure. I want to see how he bounces back. Look, when we talk about Tom Brady or we talk about any quarterback, me and Nick, we go head to head. But the reason why I continue to believe in Tom Brady is because I'm not paying all the money and bringing him down to Tampa to throw for 350 yards. That's not what I want. I'm paying you because 80% of the game is mental. So I don't need to see these mental laps late in games, not reading simple coverage. So if he can do that and he can manage the game like he managed the last 3 Super Bowls he's won, then we'll have a chance. So I'm excited to see Tom Brady because I want to see how he bounced back mentally.
I'm going to go with a different quarterback that we battle about, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, now again, the schedule makers have done the Browns no favors. Another brutal opponent this weekend as they have to travel all the way down to Jacksonville to face a team that is just due for a victory. But here's why I'm so excited. We might actually get to see Baker Mayfield in not simply terrible weather. Now, I did check the forecast. They do think it is going to rain in Jacksonville, which will make it the 5th straight game the Browns have played in the rain. But the wind is only supposed to top out at 5 miles an hour, and the rain is not supposed to be terrible. So Baker Mayfield leading the Browns against this gauntlet of a schedule to 8-3, which I would imagine means on Monday we mention them 0 times. What?
We'll mention them. If they're 8-3, we'll mention. Also, you can weigh in on the editorial process. Just because we will definitely mention them because Jenna will mention a commercial that she saw over the weekend with Baker. I'm going with Philip Rivers. Here's something interesting about the show.
If they beat Jacksonville. Sorry, I just had to say it. Go on.
See?
I had to get it out of my system. He set me up for it. Playing wiffle ball here. Go on.
I'm going with my guy, Philip Rivers, because all of a sudden I've started to, sing the Colts defense praise, and Nick is killing me because Philip Rivers turns the ball over, and all of a sudden I'm forced into being like a Philip Rivers fan, so I got to watch this game like, don't turn the ball over. Last time he played the Titan at 308 yards and 1 touchdown, 0 INTs. So Philip Rivers, at this point, just don't turn the ball over because I can't deal with it on Monday. It's a personal issue for me. So just hold on the ball because as I always tell my children, ball security, job security.
Yours and mine.
Yours and
The
mine.
thing is, the Browns have such an easy remaining schedule. I can't anymore. All right, let's go to Indy. We just talked about it. AFC South supremacy on the line. 7-3 Colts, 7-3 Titans facing off. Indy favored by 3 in this one. But Brandon, the team that should be on upset alert is blank.
The Chiefs. Tampa struggles are
Yeah.
real, but it's not time to overreact. Let's think about when they struggle. We talk about it all the time. Nick always highlights it, rightfully so. They struggle because Tom Brady going against pressure, it just doesn't match. It's not a great mixture. So when you break it down, it's really teams that can get pressure with the front 4, not the front 7. So they get pressure with the front 4, and they play cover 2 in the back end. This is not the team. Coach Spags, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, is back to being who he was throughout his entire career. He's now being more aggressive and blitzing a lot. This is bad news for